Greetings. I'm trying to see if you guys see good. Hey there. How's it going? Peace and blessings. Soundbytes, beautiful, powerful, and divine people. So I'm checking in with a quick update because I wanted to kind of round robin and go over a thing or two. In particular, the Powerhouse was launching a class this fall. So I needed to take a pause just to give you a quick update as to what's going on. I've gotten some requests, etc. But I needed to take a little bit of a pause. And this whole Keys2SOAR Powerhouse experience is actually life and practice. It's actually a learning and development piece of actually living and being and doing the work as we stand for the ascending of the African soul or the opening of the African spirit. And I'm here to tell you that it's not easy. It's really not easy. It's really not easy. There are so many parts of our society, and along with our circumstances as Africans, as we are evolving Africans, as we are awakening, as we are expanding, for those of us who are already in a place, living an authentic life committed to the ascending of the African soul and the opening of the African spirit, it is not easy. I know that people often, I've had people say to me that, I don't look like circumstances bother me and things don't get to me. I'm a little depleted at these days. These days, I'm like, I don't have nothing to give. Entirely depleted. I've given, and I'm depleted. So for a couple of reasons, I needed to postpone the class. One, because I needed to do some legality in terms of protecting my work and before I put it out there, because I realize that I'm a space for building community, but everyone is not in the same space for building community. So while we work through our know and grow together, and we do this work in practice, there are certain things that we get to expand on within ourselves. So me personally, I needed to put a pause on the class before I launched the class so that I could ensure that there's a reciprocal experience inside of the giving, inside of that space, because this work, along with my contributions and experience, etc., is here to create community. And I'm learning, right, because I believe in being in integrity with my rhetoric. So that's the Keys2SOAR Powerhouse, an expansive space to be the work, right, in a safe space as we grow and evolve ourselves. So myself, I am the work in practice. So I've come to a place where I've given till I've depleted myself out. I've given, and no one poured back. No one poured back in. We're learning to be with that reality within our community. We're learning to not be in response to our circumstances and not be in response to our environment. And our environment puts us in a pressure cooker. I'm gonna be real honest with you. My life, the social experiment, I'm here to tell you, I've went through a lot of life experiences, and I've boldly approached a lot of experiences in an effort to improve myself as being the work. So with that being said, there's a lot of bumps and bruises that occur along that way and along that being. And experience is also garnered inside of boldly being in an experience that may not necessarily be as welcoming and supportive. So the class is postponed until further notice. We'll still be here in the Powerhouse. So my hope is that the people that are here who stand for the ascending of the African soul, regardless to where you are in your journey, because according to Dr. Joy DeGruy, and she's the maker of post-traumatic slave syndrome, she's the social work scientist who came up with that theory, that we're not all entering this conversation of evolution and blackness and Africanness at the same spot. Okay, so for those who are engaging this conversation, it's brand new information. Those of us who are elevating in this conversation as they grow, and those of us who have reached a degree and who are continuing to expand and ascend and elevate, etc. It's a necessity for us to build a community where we can have it be a real live conversation without fear and without bias. The only goal here is the standing of the African soul, the ascending of the African spirit, and the opening of the African soul. That's it. There are no subsets, there are no groups and labels. There are none of those things here. In this space, it's strictly about opening Sawubona and being able to be in a divine space where you can see one another in a very authentic, supportive and loving way. And that's what I'm bringing to the space. That's the goal of Keys2SOAR, the Powerhouse. The Keys2SOAR is a learning and development tool because it is my personal belief that we've practiced bad behaviors for so many years under pressure that we need an opportunity to recalibrate our behavior. But let's be clear that we're in a pressure cooker. This life circumstances, peace and blessings, thank you for coming in. I'm going over a couple of things and sending out a little message about the Keys2SOAR class that was supposed to launch this September. So we're in a pressure cooker. Our society is not necessarily creating and cultivating a space for you to stand as an African in your own identity. You could be anything else in this world, but African is not one of them. And Africans will be pissed with you for being African. Let me tell you, I've dealt with the brunt of Africans who are not in their sight, or those who are in their sight with their shade and with their behaviors and different things like that, who are not necessarily standing for the ascending of the African soul and the opening of the African spirit. And they're still practicing bad behaviors. So it is my understanding and my ministry to be a party to creating new behaviors, reviewing what we've worked with, what we're good at, reinventing ourselves, and also creating our own confidence in our personal being. So as of today, I'm just coming in just to be sure to make this post and this video with you guys, because I've gotten some requests as to what was happening with the class. I just really wanted to, in all transparency, because I'm really excited about living my life in transparency. That's one of the most exciting things that I actually do. I'm very excited about being able to live in a transparent life. There's no demons, there's no ghosts, there's no shame, there's no need to hide. There's just like a full and all on all the time, and you know, in that space. But system and functionality is what I'm working with right now. Pay unto Caesar that which is Caesar. So we're living in Caesar's space, and I'm dealing with the circumstances of Caesar's space. And people who are not standing for the ascending of the African soul and the opening of the African spirit actually are intermittently in the space, sprinkled all about. And you have to deal with these people when you're working in Caesar's spaces. So I'm hoping to create the space where, where as a unit we can collectively create a different reality. So I'm Nefera TuMa'ati RA, your Minister of Learning and Development. Thank you all for coming into the Powerhouse. Please contribute to the space. Please offer something to the space. And it doesn't have to be encouragement. It could be whatever you feel like, but just as long as it's on par with the ascending of the African soul, the opening of the African spirit, information that is in support of that, because we need to really, we can really be clear and see that we don't actually live in a space. So oftentimes what we think we know, we have a post on the Keys2SOAR page that your eyes are probably deceiving you. So what you think you know may not necessarily be what actually is, simply because we're learning inside of a different consciousness. Excuse me, and retraining our minds to see inside of a African-centered and spiritually centered consciousness is a practice. It is a work. It is a process of learning and development. And that's a real basic science of teaching, learning, and understanding ourselves and how we get to put on these new behaviors and confidently be these things. So reach out, stay in touch with me. I appreciate those who came in with concern, excuse me, and asked about the class. Peace and blessings. And thank you. Again, contribute to the group. Sawubona and Namaste. The divine in me honors and respects the divine in you. And Sawubona, I see you. Peace and blessings.